When we had our first rehearsal for the Ordering of Moses, I said to the orchestra, we are going to play a piece written by an Obi. And they were like, what? And so yeah, this composer was an Obi. He graduated from here in 1908, by the way, the year that this building was inaugurated. And the orchestra was here on a stage, and they were like, wow, that connection made already the project special, because the orchestra felt the connection with the composer, a very strong connection with the composer. On top of that, having alums be the soloist, as we had in the case of four of the soloists, it just creates a connection for a very special energy around the performance of the piece, to know that the composer graduated from the Oberlin Conservatory.
That I'm here singing with current students, also an alum, singing in Finney Chapel, and singing the music of an alum. I can't think of a better word than just extremely special. It's intergenerational, which is really cool. I feel like being in this moment right now, it's making me sort of reflect on that and really realize, okay, I am a part of something that's a lot bigger than I am, and I'm feeling very reverent.
Tracing the life and work of Dett actually gives us a really meaningful opportunity to think about the high stakes of Black composers and musicians and what they were facing during an American classical music scene that was still in its adolescence. During the first 2 decades of the 20th century, you would have Euro-American composers like Gershwin, Stravinsky, Copland, Mioll that were experimenting with jazz and blues idioms within a primitivist kind of framework. And figures like Dett absolutely were against that particular angle and thought of their compositions and their work overall as something that was not just musical, but political and social and religious. So this really just gives us a window into the politics of what Dett and his colleagues were up against at that particular time.
The entire piece is just so moving, and to hear the different motifs on the from the spirituals and and how it's just so wonderfully crafted and woven together into this complete story. And it's just this was my first time with this piece, and I hope it's not my last, because it's really grown on me as a piece.
I think the panel was absolutely wonderful to highlight the different generational and genealogical ties as we talk about Dett's intellectual and creative voice. The fact that he would leave Oberlin and teach at all of these different historical Black colleges and universities to advance or be the founder of some of these music programs already establishes a relationship between American music conservatories and HBCU music programs. And so each panelist that was on that stage is not only an inheritor of these knowledges, these practices of non-idiomatic Black classical music, but also of the practice of what it means to teach and promote and preserve what we called on that stage the Dett tradition.
The music sits quite high, and a rather precarious part of the voice for the tenor. So it requires a lot of technical preparation to be able to sustain that type of tessitura. So that's where much of my work has been, and just trying to build the stamina. Even though it's not a very long sing, you still have to have the stamina to sustain singing in the passaggio for an extended period of time.
To have Finney Chapel full of people again, this is a very special place for Oberlin. As you know, this is the main space for large gatherings, and to see that full of an audience is special. But to go to Carnegie, what makes it a unique experience for Oberlin is that we have a large amount of always out there. By playing at Carnegie, it has a little bit of a feeling of it's still a home game for us. We go out there, we go to New York, but the hall is going to be full of family members and alums. And in this case, it was. And what a joy for everybody on stage to end the performance and to see a roaring applause and standing ovation coming from a full Carnegie Hall. Full of people sending love back to the stage. So it is special. dramatic it is to have change right at the beginning of the piece as the background sound when they are talking how the Israelites were enslaved. Then is Go Down Moses, and you hear the entire choir singing that famous spiritual in special setting by the wonderful craft, wonderful hand of Nathaniel Dett. And the piece ends with a big Alleluia.
As the Israelites, we have overcome this massive journey. We have overcome all of the trials that we've gone through, and now it's time to just praise Jehovah. So like at the end, just a big celebratory, imagine it being like a big party, especially at the end when Limmie and I are doing the call and response, just praising God at the end. It's like a big jubilee.
Just create this moment of it's getting brighter and brighter at the very end, and I think that that makes the ending so gratifying. That is as I said, is a luminous ending. We are honored that we get to play that piece and we get to experience playing the Ordering of Moses.